Hello and welcome back to Wish for Death Island Population Me. We're starting 2020 on a shitty note because on Wish for Death Island, you don't get a break. The Paranormal Activity movie started as a novelty idea in the 2005-2006 era, and they had the usual kind of stunts, like people saying that they needed to pressure to get their theater to get it, and saying that it really happened and they somehow got to make a movie out of the footage, somehow, even though that makes no sense. It wasn't good or original, but it was better than the sequels.
What's going on, big guy?
In the first movie, they pretended that the movie is real, as I said, which is all fine and good, even though it makes no sense as to why it would be released as a movie. But in all the other movies, they completely gave up, so enjoy this intro while you can. It starts with a supercut of a guy filming himself watching TV and his girlfriend showing up in the driveway. The editing in these movies is never consistent, so while the jump cuts and such start out like this, they'll change by the end of the movie, and this goes on for basically all of them. The girlfriend, Katie, acknowledges the camera in the most natural way that you'll get out of the entire series, because it actually feels like, although it's not good, they actually tried in this movie. Nowadays you'll get something way better in every average ARG. You could kind of say that shitty found footage walked so ARG could run, and as a fan of those, this does look bad in comparison, but I'll be fair to it for the time. They say that they're doing this to capture ghost stuff on camera. Tone is supposed to be fun, at least it's consistent, kind of, even if the dialogue is a little heavy-handed at times. The boyfriend waves the knife around because foreshadowing and mentions the neighbors being creepy and talks to the camera. He also says that they're going to be sleeping with the camera on because everything that happens during the night is spoopy. I can chalk them filming themselves eating up to the novelty of having the camera, and there's also some random jump cuts after a while, but in the movies to follow, they'll be filming everything for absolutely no reason. There's no point in any of it, but they just have the camera, even if it's life-threatening.
Katie, say something.
Your mother's a bitch.
Katie doesn't want to force the ghost to do something, but the boyfriend doesn't give a shit because he wants to see something interesting. They immediately cut to her hearing something weird in the kitchen, but they can't find it and assume it's the ice maker. He also has a feet thing. I guess he's Kira's cousin. They need to figure out where the camera is going and get ready for bed. This blue filter is something that you will become extremely familiar with for the rest of the movie, so I suggest you get used to it. Then we have Night 1. This is the format of all of the movies, except the fifth one for some reason and I don't know why. They have all of the nights where apparently something interesting is going to happen, but most of the time it's just you staring at nothing, and then like a door moves. It's great. And like I just said, nothing happens. They sometimes skip to the interesting stuff and sometimes they don't. It's very inconsistent. Like I said, I don't know why, it just is. The next morning, Katie asks if he dropped a key on the floor. Wow, the ghost is slightly inconveniencing them. That's amazing.
Very think that's
I got a big one.
They invite a psychic over because they're dipshits, and the psychic asks about their life for some exposition. Katie talks about how when she was a kid she would wake up and see a shadowy figure at the foot of her bed, and have sleep paralysis, and her sister would see it too, but only see it at Katie's bed. Then a fire happened that burned down the Baudelaire mansion, their home, and all the pictures in it. No one figured out what happened or what really caused the fire. The ghost stalked her periodically ever since. The kitchen lights flicker, the faucet turn on and off, banging on the wall, scratching sounds, whispering in the bedroom, and the boyfriend has a bunch of ghost recording shit and explains what he's doing. The demon feeds off negative energy. The psychic says something is wrong and he can't deal with the demon on his own and needs to get a specialist to come over because the demon will get triggered otherwise or something. The boyfriend wants to give it what it wants, until he finds out that what it wants is Katie, and then he says something else that's fucking dumb. After the psychic leaves, she is happy, but the boyfriend keeps making jokes, even though she really wants to call this demon psychic man. Nothing interesting apparently happened on night 2 because we skipped to night 3. The door opens and swings around a bit. That's it. He looks at the footage the next day and they just gasp at the door moving. It's a door. We then get a fake jump scare. Get used to those two. The boyfriend goes to get the camera and it's just a spider, but the thing is, when he heard her screaming bloody murder, he just goes to get the camera first instead of immediately running to her. They acknowledge it in this one because, again, they're still trying a little bit to be a little self-aware, but alas, in the rest of the movies this is forgotten. He also has a self-aware comment about how the door moving isn't really anything important and he doesn't know why the ghost is bothering to do that, but this doesn't take away from the fact that it's pointless garbage that doesn't have a reason. Katie says that it feels like an inhuman monster as well. They also have this book on demons even though they have the internet. I don't know why a book is going to be more resourceful at this point. If it makes it worse, he needs to turn off the camera. And he says that she should have told him about the ghost before they moved in, which, I mean, kind of fair point. The next night she wakes up and has a terrible nightmare and her head hurts. There's some shit in the kitchen making noise, so they go down together and there's nothing. Satan's grand plan seems to be nothing and door moving. So far, brilliant. The sister comes over the next day and the boyfriend shows them some audio shit. He says that the demon wants to communicate and he also wants to use a Ouija board, which is kind of retarded because every single horror movie shows you what happens when you use one of those. Nothing interesting has happened in a while, so he decides to call out the demon and talk shit while Katie gets mad. Then it skips all the way to night 13. I don't know how it went so long without anything happening, but all that happens is they hear some noises and like a big ass thud. So they go downstairs and hear some sweeping noises. The chandelier is also swinging. Again, Satan's grand plan seems to be mild inconvenience. They don't find anything, but they hear more noises again that sound like cheap post effects, as if it doesn't even belong in the same movie. They stay up all night and hear some more shit. He does an EVP recording thingo and asks a bunch of questions to play it back later. It also makes a noise with the Ouija board being mentioned, so I guess that's the master plan as well.
Your mother's a bitch.
Next night, Katie wakes up and just stands there, keeps standing there for like a million years, and then she goes down the hallway. The boyfriend wakes up and goes to find her, and she's just kind of lying outside. She's sleepwalking or something, so he has a conversation with her and hears some bangs upstairs. And Katie also does a silent jump scare standing behind him, which is a thing that happens a lot, but not really with as much potential as you'd hope. He then shows her the footage the next morning and she doesn't remember it. And he's still against The Exorcist even though all this shit's been happening, so he decides that he's gonna get his Ouija board and she freaks out. While they're away for the night, the camera is still running and you just kind of wait for the jump scare. You wait for like 5 minutes and nothing happens. I don't know why they left that much time in. The planchette moves around and the plant moves and stuff and then fire happens. So I waited like 5 minutes for this. Fire and door swinging have to do with Satan's magic plan. When the couple comes back, they see the fire and try to figure out what the fuck happened. Katie doesn't want to look at it because she's still big mad at him for being a shithead. They make some decisions off camera and she makes him say some dumb shit in front of the camera before they go to sleep. He still manages to figure out what the Ouija board is saying the next day and explains it to her. Her sister comes over and they complain about it and then says that he can do his thing one more time and if it doesn't work she's gonna call demon specialist. Demon specialist. He sprinkles flour around to catch footprints. Here's another thing that I don't get about this ghost mythos bullshit. The ghost apparently does mildly inconveniencing things for no reason, and then it has the power to float around and make itself invisible, but somehow it leaves footsteps and then starts walking, and other times it doesn't have to walk because it floats around. Why does it swing chandeliers around when it doesn't have to do that? If it can move things, why can't it just write something down and tell them? I don't get what its point is. It acts like it's sending them a message and they don't know what the message is and it's their fault for not knowing, when this ghost can easily just type something on a fucking laptop. Night 17. He gets up and hears something and they see something as well, but I don't really know what it is. It looks like a blob. They see footsteps inside the room, but they don't see them out of the room. It's some sort of goat thing, and for some reason it decides to walk and then float away. They find an attic space that they never looked at and he goes up. And he goes up even though Katie is screaming at him not to. He finds an old picture of Kate that should have been burned with everything else in the house, so she's freaking out about why it exists. Why did the demon just go into the attic and put it there? When did it do this? Can it carry things? And if so, why is it just moving chandeliers around? Where has it been storing this photo the entire time if it apparently saved it from the fire and brought it all the way here years later? Does it have photo bucket? How does it do this? The next day he sees the steps form in the video. They call the psychic dude back because they can't get a hold of the demon specialist. So they have one more night to go before the psychic comes back. Night 18, the lights go on and off, the door slams and it bangs the door again. He opens the door and gets angry as if it's going to help. There's more banging and stuff, seemingly for no reason, and after those amazing spoops, the next day he finds her all just pressed on the couch. There's some big ass noise upstairs while they're eating and the picture got cracked, but only over his picture.
Something's here.
No shit. She feels like something is breathing on her and she runs down. The psychic shows up and says that he doesn't like it here, so he needs to leave and he can't help them anymore because he's probably gonna fuck shit up. He leaves and Katie just starts crying. Night 19, something comes into the bed with them and wants to get freaky and then the lights come on. Katie gets freaked out and wakes up, and it watches her during the daytime apparently, and then they watch the footage back. Again, what is Satan's grand plan here? The boyfriend finds this website that looks like it's out of the fucking 90s, and finds this Diane person from the 60s, and everything that had happened to her is happening to Katie, so apparently it's the same demon. She also died, and they have this amazing fake 60s footage with like 17 filters on it. After another fight, Katie's crying upstairs in a ball, so apparently bad shit happened. The next night the shadow shows up and drags her out of bed, and also slams the door, so she screams a bunch and we can't really see any of the exciting things. She comes back and starts crying, and she has a scratch on her back and a bite mark the next morning. She looks possessed before they go to bed too. Motherfucker just burns shit as if that's gonna help, and Katie does some glorious acting. Night 21. She gets up and there's some banging, and then she stands there forever, and then she moves and stands there again forever. She walks down and screams, and then she throws her boyfriend at the camera. Oh no. Oh no, that's beautiful. The movie doesn't actually have any credits, it's just saying that she went missing and she killed her boyfriend. And this movie could have been better because I like the format, and this format is something that, again, ARGs have done, but it's bad. I guess one of the biggest problems that I have with the ghosts, both in real life stories, apparently real stories, and stories like this, what is the end goal of the monster thing? I get if it's some ghost that's just fucking around with people, because if I was a ghost I would do that. If it's supposed to be evil Satan who wants to take over the world, then how is moving a door and occasionally making footsteps when it doesn't need to supposed to accomplish anything? Especially if it's just some random couple. It's not even an important person or a priest or something. But I'm sure we'll get some answers out of the second movie, right?
Oh, nigga!
This is where shit gets even more boring and stupid, because there is no reason for this plot and even less stuff happens. Also, while I was watching these, I got bored and put Cells at Work on, so while all the creepy stuff is happening, it's just kinda like this. So they again have this thing about the police sharing this footage, which is stupid, but introducing white people getting killed by demons Volume 2, this time with baby. They also have generic Hispanic housekeeper and young daughter and dog. This totally hasn't been done before. The daughter also has some terrible teen dialogue and I just hate all of it. She smells the baby. And the sister is Katie, so we've established that this is the sister character. And why is she filming them having a fucking barbecue? Is it just what teenagers do? Am I out of touch? So the entire house then gets damaged, and then they start documenting it on camera. The valuables are still all there, and nothing really got stolen, but everything is just upside down. The necklace that Katie gave them is the only thing that is gone. The baby room is the only one that wasn't touched either. They clean up and get their new cameras installed, and it sets up everything else like it does in the previous movie. Apparently they're filming because the new child came home, but there's some things that just don't add up with that. It's like she's just taking the camera around because the director told her to. They show the house and the pool, basically setting up where the jump scares are gonna happen. They always come back to the pool for no fucking reason in this movie. You get used to this shot. There it is. There's the pool in the daytime now. I know, so interesting, right? And now baby. Is this different baby? It looks like a different baby, but it's supposed to be the same baby. Oh my god, the fucking chair fell over. Wow, amazing. Hispanic lady then talks about spirits.
Oh my god!
What?
Oh my god!
It was like a live crawdaddy.
They do the same false screaming at the toilet scare, but this time she's screaming at a fucking shit.
It's a stenchalada.
Stenchalada. Babby cry at night.
So much. I love you so much.
Normal dialogue. Babby cry again. The sister also mentions getting a spoopy feeling from when they were kids, so the demon decided that he's just gonna flit between the two sisters until one of them does something that he wants, I guess. Mom is alone with the baby and hears noises, but she sees nothing. We're 20 minutes into this movie. Night 3, Baby stares at something. Night 4, nothing. The next day, dog barks at something. Then the dancing happens. Night 5, housekeeper walks around. The light goes on outside and there's some bangs upstairs because that's all Satan knows how to do. The housekeeper's cleaning the house with magic bullshit when the parents come back because she, as all stereotypical Hispanic housekeepers know, that there is a demon in the house, but she can't really communicate it in a way that's supposed to help anyone. So she's just cleaning with stupid magic bullshit. But the parents don't like it, so they get rid of her and she argues about the demons, but she ultimately leaves.
I do understand, okay? I don't believe in that stuff, okay?
Are you sure about that?
The baby, named Hunter, stares at nothing once again, and then he starts crying again. Apparently there's something in the closet, and I'm not just talking about the repressed sexuality of every single JoJo character in existence. There's also something demonic in the bathroom. I guess the ghost has to take a piss sometimes too, but all the wife does is joke about it with her husband. He comes in and does some "hello fellow kids" dialogue, and she gets mad at him for firing the housekeeper. Night 8, Baby cry. Baby look at closet. The mom comes in and holds him by the closet, even though he was screaming at the fucking closet. The door opens by itself as well. We're 30 minutes in. The next day they find a dead thing because a bird crashed into the window. Wow. So the baby runs off into another room and the wife puts the camera down while the monitor makes weird noises. The thing is, the camera catches the most uninteresting things, but whenever there's something that could potentially be a cool shot, they just put the camera down and we don't see anything. We can listen to it, but that's not exactly why I'm watching a fucking movie.
Your mother's a bitch.
Night 10. What happened on night 9? Why is the pool so fucking interesting? The pans are jiggling. Oh no. Gordon Ramsay is haunting this house. Oh, one fell over. He's gonna be mad. We have to watch the mom come over all the way from across the house. And when she finally finds it, she just stands there forever. And then it falls over again and she runs upstairs. The next day we discover that someone is moving the pool cleaner. Why does the demon love the pool so much? How is swinging a door, a chandelier, and staring at a closet supposed to help him with his demon plan? How is a pool cleaner supposed to help Satan take over the world? Katie comes over and complains about the ghost, and the family says that they also have a ghost, but they don't seem to give a shit. Night 11. We have an hour left of this movie. After a few minutes of nothing, the alarm goes off because there's a fire in the kitchen. The dad throws the pot into the pool and the daughter is in the pool, so she gets spooked. They talk about it the next day but can't figure out why. They argue and finally check the footage after a week of this happening and seeing the pool cleaner being Spider-Man. The daughter hopes it's haunted, but again, why? Night 12. Baby talking. The baby is kinda cliche talking to the demon now, so the demon wants the kid. The dog starts barking because it's agitated, and the next morning the pool is fucked once again. Baby cry. Again. The dad goes into the pool, and I guess the demon really hated that because it turned up the heater on the hot tub, so Peter Griffin over here gets burned and put peas on his nuts. The mom and the dad are going out, so the daughter will be alone with the baby. The boyfriend comes in because every single one of these movies needs an annoying boyfriend. They play with the board and it moves or some shit, but it's just him fucking with her. We're 50 minutes in. 50 minutes in and nothing is happening. There's a bang and she gets up but nothing happened. The door opens so she closes it and then checks the house. There's still some weird shit going down with the door. The door closes behind her and the dog barks at nothing again. They really love the dog in this one. The daughter can't get in the house again because she gets locked out, so the baby just cries and cries. And then it gets moved up the fucking side. What? The baby goes down and opens the door to the side where the demon is in and then it just goes upstairs again. The parents come home and the baby just starts crying. The daughter isn't in the house, so they freak out a bit until she comes in and explains what happens. She heard someone calling her name and this led to all of the fascinating events that just transpired. Dad getting angry about people saying house is haunted cliche. The daughter tells the camera about her dreams and how terrifying they're getting, and ghosts and people standing by the foot of her bed. Sound familiar? Then she googles demons while her boyfriend is being a retard. Why are they filming this? She goes over the footage of the door closing and the dad watches it but doesn't really register what the fuck happened because he's stupid. Night 17. Nothing happens. The girl puts the camera on and says that she heard something downstairs. She gets all freaked out but doesn't really see anything. Oh wow, I'm so surprised that she didn't see anything. She tells her mum about it in the morning and goes back to what the housekeeper is saying because all of a sudden they believe her. Katie and the mum talk about crazy shit that happened while they were little and then they start fighting. Everyone else but the mum and the kid are gone, and the kitchen yeets itself while the mum screams, and she comes back to see the kettle going crazy. The mum says everything is fine, and clearly isn't because she's being a drama queen. The girl films herself talking to her boyfriend again as well, because I love these scenes. Apparently their grandma made a deal with the devil to get rich, and the baby is the first male in the family line, so the baby is the one that's gonna get taken. I know, this just kind of happened out of nowhere, and I guess cleaning the pool was a part of the deal as well. You know, Satan says you have to clean the pool 17 times before you can take the baby. Night 19, the dog runs up the stairs. There's half an hour left in this movie. The dog gets dragged into the closet and the daughter brings the camera down because the dog got injured. Araki, no! Sorry, force of habit. They take the dog to the hospital and the wife touches pots, and then she goes into the baby room. She gets dragged down the stairs too. I guess the magic closet is where all the magic happens. She stays there for a few hours while the baby cries, and then it opens. There's 20 minutes left. Please, something happen. Oh no, she's standing. So the next morning, the wife is in bed and the baby is fine. Dad still doesn't believe anything happened and he goes off, pick the dog up, leaving the house all spoopy and alone. The daughter hears some shit and stands around. Something weird is happening with the closet. There's scratches inside the closet and the mom was sitting in the baby room, but then she teleports away somehow. Oh no, she's not gone, she's right there, she just jump scared you, oh no. The daughter calls her dad, but he's not listening. The daughter films herself googling stuff for some reason. I don't know why this is interesting at all. She looks at the footage from the closet and the dad finally starts taking shit seriously, calls the housekeeper, who does some weird cleansing shit. The mom looks possessed. She's possessed. I don't know how that's part of Satan's plan, but the housekeeper is gonna bust some ghosts. Or not, because she dies after this. The mom attacks the dad, and then they fuck around with night vision while screaming happens and furniture moves. They hear the baby making noises. Why is the camera still here? I don't know what the fuck is happening, everything is shaking. The baby keeps looking older every time I see it. Is this the same kid? Is it different baby? Don't know. Mom jump scare. The ground vibrates and the kid just kinda stands there. The mom goes back to bed, the housekeeper burns the photo and I don't know where she got it from, but cut to 3 weeks later and everything is fine, so I guess Katie thing happens because they show some clips from the first movie. We have to watch like 5 minutes so I can pad the runtime. This night doesn't have a label, so I guess it's the final night and it's important somehow. The dad is watching the same commercial from the other night. I don't know why you need cabinets on the go, but get Cabinets to Go. Cabinets to Go sponsor video, please. And it keeps going back to the goddamn pool. The baby's crying. But no, don't worry, Katie comes in to end the movie. She throws the mom at the camera and takes the baby. Apparently she kills everyone else too, but all we get to see is the camera from the baby's room. At least we don't have to see the pool. Then the girl came home from school and so everyone fucking died. Oh no, I hate this already. Oh what? There's 4 more? Okay.
What's going on, big guy?
This one is different because this one takes place in the 80s and totally isn't like the other ones. This takes place while the mother from the second film is still pregnant. It opens with more camera bullshit and they're painting the room for the baby because they need to hammer home that there is a baby. They find a box of tapes and it goes missing. Then we see what was on the tapes. It kind of looks like the 80s, but not consistently. It's totally not like someone just got a cheap costume and a filter over the camera. It looks like a puppet combo game, and also has some great resolution for the 80s. My one question is, who the fuck is watching these tapes? Because in the other ones we get to see who's filming and at least a general idea of somehow someone getting their hands on the footage. After the tapes went missing, it's like they're just played out of nowhere. How do we find the tapes? Why are the tapes there in the first place? None of that's answered. The kids in the 80s immediately start talking about the demon friend they have because fuck tension and atmosphere, and there's a cliche of the mom thinking it's just their imaginary friend even though clearly there's some eerie shit going on, so she brushes it off anyway cliche thing. The dad is being a fucking nerd and running some project in his garage. His assistant is 40 minutes late, which is very important for us to know for some reason. He gives exposition to whoever is gonna watch this, and it's edited like a really bad YouTube video with jump cuts and shit. Who edited these tapes and how did they do that in the 80s? He then watches some home movies. I guess he's trying to be an editor or something, and there's a lot of him just teleporting around his garage and filming himself watching things. He says that he edits out the irrelevant shit, yet the kids come in and they fuck around like retards, but apparently they don't need to cut out this irrelevant thing. Again, who is watching this? Later he sets down his camera and sets another one in front of him so that he can take pictures of himself while videoing himself taking pictures of himself. Why not just have the camera be set down and then everyone posing and he says, oh, I forgot to to put it on picture instead of video, and then it cuts or something. That's fine. He keeps editing and hears a banging sound.
Jill?
It sounds like my neighbors when they're being idiots, which is all of the time, but he thinks that it's spooky, so he goes up to see a door moving and a bear moving, and then he gets jump scared by a child.
Oh, nigga!
When he investigates the door, there's a handprint on it, and he inspects it, but nothing happens. The one thing that this film would have going for it is the silent jump scare, because it can be very effective. Like the one that I always get reminded of from BioShock, when the doctor is just behind you, and you don't even know that he's behind you until you turn around, and that's when you start fighting him. It's cool, but it takes effort, and this movie doesn't take effort. Okay, so we have to watch them film themselves having sex. They do all these like shitty pretending to have chemistry things. It's just, I can't watch it. It's too awkward. And then a frame falls over and the camera starts shaking because earthquake. The dust moves around, I guess, so the ghost is there. The demon caused an earthquake, so I guess it would just, was it just watching them and then it cockblocks them? How does this demon work? This is a problem I have with ghosts. What is happening? The dude then explains to his assistant that he was trying to make a sex tape and then the earthquake happened, and implies that him and his assistant are just watching them have sex. Cool. His old TVs are fine, but they're using like random shit from the 90s, like random 90s editing equipment and a house that doesn't look like the 80s whatsoever. They're looking for ghost stuff now because they start seeing some evidence. I don't know what they were doing before this, just watching their home movies for no reason. Some people actually believe that the first movie was real, so they keep using this gimmick, but they've clearly given up. Everyone acts so unnatural and it's not even a novelty anymore. He puts cameras everywhere and has to deal with the ghost problem, so there's one in every room. Why don't the kids have a door? Why do they just have some random shit? Why don't they have a door? When the camera is in their room, they go to sleep and we finally get night one, even though we're like halfway through. It's the same spooky blue lights from before, like every other movie. The girl whispers to Toby the demon, that's the demon's name, Toby, by the way. I know, brilliant, right? The camera can't pick it up, even though the whole idea of a camera is to pick up the stuff that humans can't hear. I guess this is some Ruin Johnson sort of subversion that I should appreciate. The dad talks about it the next day, and the kid says that she's gonna get hurt if Toby talks about him. The mom just doesn't really give a shit. She's just making dinner and saying it's fine. The dad says it's not fine. Even if you're being a normal person, the fact that the child's imaginary friend basically says that it's going to hurt the kid if the kid talks about it. To your mind, that's basically some sort of weird self-harm thing going on, or a cry out for help. You should be a little bit concerned about it instead of just saying it's a kid thing. They should at least ask her if she has some problems or wants to go see a therapist or something, but no, that's fine. The dad also talks about Back to the Future with his assistant because 80s. I thought he was only filming the important shit, so why is he filming this? He hears something creepy from the closet and gets jump scared by the mom in a creepy mask. Then it jumps to night 5, even though nothing really happened in night 1, and they see the light turn on and off and hear some footsteps. The dad gets up to check on the kids and they're in the tent outside, but they're fine. And then there's a conversation with the grandma, and she doesn't like the dad buying those tapes with the mom's money. She also wants a grandson, so I guess they're trying to make her look creepy even though she just looks like she's nagging. Night 7, there's a bang in the kitchen and then the dad stares at it.
Bitch!
Then during the day, the assistant brings up Bloody Mary and one of the kids gets excited. He puts the camera on the fan and makes it go from side to side. The next night, the kid runs past the bedroom door and then there's some noise. She stands on the table and then runs back. Riveting. The next day, she's painting and the mom is like, "Why aren't you playing outside?" Then there's a cut to her sitting by the kid for no reason. It's just a cut. There's a lot of nothing in this movie, but someone walking from where they're standing to sitting down is apparently enough to get cut. Then she gets scared about talking about Toby, and she says that Toby is standing right there, even though nothing interesting happens. The dude stole some books from the library instead of checking them out normally, and I don't know why. Yeah, research time. The kids play Bloody Mary and bring the camera in with them. I think the demon slams the door for no reason. Night 10, the mum is in the kitchen and the camera keeps moving so fucking slow. We have to keep watching it go from back and forth and back and forth. And when the crashes happen on the other side, the camera is still focused on the mum, so we don't even see what's happening. The kids are having a tea party because reasons. The dad almost sits on Toby, who is a demon who enjoys his tea parties, like myself, I suppose. So him sitting on the demon, apparently nothing bad happens, so I guess that was fine. They investigate the tiny Coraline door. One of the kids goes in and calls Toby, and it slams the door, and then it closes the bedroom door while this bear is just hugging the screen. The mom is in the kitchen with the moving camera. The babysitter comes over and tells the kids ghost stories while the lady fake scares the camera, and a sheet comes to visit her before it collapses. What was the point of the sheet? Does Toby just like standing there with a sheet on him? She goes up to the kids and there's a jump scare. She just leaves them there and fucking bolts out of there. Night 12. The daughter is standing and then she goes upstairs and starts to jump. She jumps and then she comes back fine, much to my disappointment. They laugh at the footage the next day, even though this means that there's a demon that could kill them. I thought that they were researching this. Why are they just laughing? Night 13, the girl does the same thing and then stands by the doorway for the entire night, and then gets mad at the demon because he's being a fag. The dad finds crayon shit in the cupboard and there's a circle triangle. Assistant and kid play Bloody Mary. She has to explain it to him even though he was the one who explained it to her beforehand, he also gets a scratch. Why did you do this when you know that there's a real demon in your house? There's an earthquake and the chair flies around, and then he says nothing happened to the kid even though clearly something did. Is the kid that retarded? The mom needs to talk to the dad and he has to film for some reason. So the girl runs and gets stopped by the demon with a sound effect that sounds so out of place it's just comical.
Bitch.
I guess the demon comes from the World Star style of fighting. Night 14. Things happen in the bedroom. The kids get scared and they scream, but in the morning everything is fine. Nope, it's not fine. They have to go stay at the creepy grandma's place with the camera. The car is outside, so they're gonna do some creepy Satan stuff. There's a shadow in the hall and the dad is walking around because the family's gone. So he sees shadows and symbols and old people, and the mom is just floating on the stairs, and then she comes down, she's McFallen. The dad hides in the closet with the kid and she's fucking making noise because she sucks. And the kid hunches by the stairs with a demon face. Dude crawls on the floor and then the grandma yeets him with mind powers. The end. So they kept the film in the box and then we just happened to watch the film that's playing on the box. Where's it playing from? What perspective are we watching this? Witches and demons and dead parents, and this was never heard of again by anyone? Did the cult just have cult powers? And when did the house burn down? Did the house burn down after this movie? I'm confused. So this opens with the ending of the third one, and then in 2011 they're in a different place. There's some stupid kids playing soccer, and one stupid kid is standing by the side not playing soccer, but he's gone in the next shot. This other stupid kid is the one named Wyatt, who is one of the main characters of this story. He does some exposition to the camera, and the reason that the girl is the one who's filming is because she got it on tape for when the dad shows up because he couldn't make it to the game. But they keep filming afterwards and I don't know why. They keep being retarded in the house and it's boring already. Then the stupid boyfriend comes over. He's more annoying than the other two and he never shuts up. She takes him outside and shows him all the places for the jump scares to happen later in the movie.
Shit everywhere.
Random annoying kid appears at the treehouse and they take him out. Back home, she explains that the boy has a single mom and the kid just comes into the treehouse in the middle of the night for no reason. She video chats with her boyfriend later, recording the camera, even though video chat doesn't do that. She goes to the kitchen and hears a siren. Kid next door did something or some shit. Next day, the kid just walks over while they spy on him outside the window. This is Robbie. Now, originally I thought that he was Hunter from the other movie who got stolen, but this isn't the case. You'll find out the mega super awesome twist soon. The boyfriend just makes fun of him with unfunny jokes. I hope he dies first. The boy's mum got injured somehow, so she had to go to the hospital, and at the last minute, since there's no family around, Robbie has to stay with this family even though they don't really know him and they've never even spoken to the mum before. He has a shitty plushie that is like a century old and a special fork that tells the future. Does this ever come back? No. Do I understand it? No. The boyfriend talks about his parents fighting all the time and she talks about how hers is worse because they're getting a divorce or something. She hears bangs downstairs and voices downstairs, but we don't get to see anything. Wow, waiting in silence with the same thing on for like minutes is cool.
What are you doing?
There's no one there, but the boyfriend starts talking again. Who are you talking to? Why can't you just shut the fuck up? Holy shit. The kid was staring at the door and just not moving. The boyfriend says his computer automatically records the call, so I guess that's where the call is coming from, and it's not him doing it, it's just doing it on its own, which isn't even a thing. But he sees the creepy kid getting into bed with the girl while she sleeps, and he's putting her hands on her. She tells her parents, but they don't seem to give a shit that this strange kid that they don't know is just touching their child. In the treehouse, Robbie has an imaginary friend. He's a bitch about it too, because he tells them that they can't see him even though they're trying. Why is she recording this? Oh, and they have a Kinect too. Totally not like sponsored or anything, they just have a Kinect that happens to have like a huge centerpiece to the story, and everything revolves around the Kinect all the time because the Kinect are super cool. Get a Kinect today, Kinect's really cool. The ghost is apparently playing Kinect, and the ghost made his own avatar? The ghost is just punching shit on screen. The girl comes in and interrupts the magic and shows them the night vision thing where everyone can see the tracking dots on the Xbox. Xbox is really good. Xbox Ghost Movie by an Xbox Today. And they all do some dance partying. They look back at the footage the next day and see a ghost moving in the lights of the Xbox. Xbox really good, buy an Xbox today, Xbox is great. Night 1, we're 20 minutes in. She wakes up at 3 AM and hears a noise. Excellent dialogue. She finds Robbie whispering to the Xbox, Xbox get one today, X super good. And then there's a boom and some steps, and she shows it to the boyfriend the next morning, so they confirm that there's ghosts. She sees someone there, but the dad watches it and says that it's YouTube effects, because the dad is stupid. They suspect that it's the kid, and the boyfriend does some more boring shit that I wish wasn't in the movie. That night the signal gets shitty and there's some knocking noises, and she gets pulled off the bed, but it's just him. She gets pissed the fuck off. They talk about the ghost and he sets up recording for everyone in the house, so they have a ton of computers hidden in boxes and whatnot, recording and always on 24/7. The quality is also fantastic. It just works. Night 3. The kid gets up and wakes up the other stupid kid, and they amble around forever before playing with the Xbox lights, Xbox Cricket, Xbox Today. The mom tells them to shut the fuck up and go to sleep. The next day the girl needs to be given a tutorial on how to use the footage, and it takes way too long. Later she's home alone and we get to watch that for too long, and a ball falls down the stairs. There's no one at home, so how did it fall down the stairs? Why does she have fucking beads on her closet door? I don't know. Then she lays down with her shoes on the bed and hears some thudding downstairs but doesn't do anything. She stands by the door for a bit and her big ass thud happens. All the toys outside are lined up. What does that do? I guess Satan wants to clean up the toys now. Probably the same thing that happens when the pool cleaner comes out every night in the last movie. She opens their creepy door and the toys all go off at the same time, but there's no one home. Chandelier swinging. The one in front of her comes down, and then Robbie shows up and then just runs away. Later on, the parents clean it up and the girl tries to explain that there's a ghost, but the parents think that she's retarded. Night 6. False cat jump scare. There's a bunch of cars outside Robbie's house at 2 AM, so she goes outside and looks through the door. Those are the cultists that we're gonna see later, by the way. They're all soccer moms. She walks in like a dumbass and someone says hi to her and then she freaks out and runs away from them. Daytime. Dumbass child is playing with a bike. Then the bike moves on its own. Then we get more stupid kids talking about space, and Robbie is like, do you want to see him? They go into the closet and the door closes and some noises happen that don't sound very nice. When the other stupid kids arrive, Robbie is drawing on the other kid, because that's the only way to make him see Toby the demon. The demon's name is Toby. Toby the demon. Everyone gets mad because that's weird. But that night the kid goes downstairs and whispers to the Xbox. Xbox is great, I went today. During the day it's like both of them are possessed now, because they're both acting weird in the same way. She asks why the boys got up, but he doesn't really say shit. Robbie whispers and maybe they could talk about shit if she didn't have the fucking camera in his face. Maybe that's why they're mad. They look at the symbol on the kid's back, find one on the sandbox from earlier footage, read some shit about sacrifices and shit. Generic demon stuff. While the mother is cooking in the kitchen, the knife disappears while she's talking to the kids. It goes flying up like a magic trick. She goes to look for it for way too long before getting another one, as if they're trying to emphasize that it went missing by making us watch minutes and minutes of nothing. The kids are acting weird during dinner and acting strange all day as well. The mom leaves and the boys do cultist shit next door while the girl chases after them into the neighbor's house with her camera, because of course. She goes to the house and no one answers, so she opens the door. There's some old shit covered in cloth inside, so she walks incredibly slowly because the director said so, and runs to the screaming children, but they just laugh her off. The mom is apparently home. It's Katie. Because, yes, so the kid tells her mom about how suspicious it is, but the parents just don't think it's strange at all because the parents act like NPCs. Night 9. Dad is watching TV and some noises happen, of course. I mean, how many times have I said that so far? The kitchen appliances turn on, and then he turns them off, and then they turn on again, and then the same thing happens like 50 times. The knife falls down, so he just stands there and stares at it. He tries to explain it to the mum, but she won't listen and tells him to go to bed. The girls talk, and the boy says Katie knew that he's adopted, so Robbie is also adopted and they're the real family or something. He's having some sort of crisis. Night 10. Boy's door opens and he goes downstairs. Ghost Boy is following him this time. It looks like a stick man. He whispers to the Xbox could get one today, about being hungry. So apparently this kid is Hunter. The dad also comes down to see what the screaming's about but doesn't do anything. The next day, Robbie is in the treehouse but disappears like a magic man, and it's time for the kid to be sacrificed by Satan or something. Motherfucker's gonna get ascended. But he brings the computer to the damn bathtub. We watch the mom do random things while the kid sits in the bathtub and watches more cartoons for too long. How long can you watch cartoons for? There's a thud and he gets drowned or some shit and the phone just keeps going. I love staring at an empty tub for 5 million years. Oh, he's back. Night 11. The mum gave the daughter sleeping pills without permission because she's a psychopath. The kids open the closet and the parents argue about the mum giving her kids drugs. The kids open the door and the blankets fall off the girl while they just stand there for the end of time. That's it. She's just sleepy as well the next day. Hunter is written on the closet door, and the kid thinks that that's his name now, so he's being brainwashed. None of the computers are working, so she has to babysit for the next few hours, and she really doesn't want to. Night 12. She's talking to her boyfriend. There's some cultist on the couch and uses the garage or whatever. She keeps the laptop open even though it would make things worse as the door opens again. Why does the ghost do everything twice? So while we wait for a jump scare, the door closes. The kid and the cultist go to the closet while the girl coughs in the garage. She drives through the door and tries to explain to her parents that she almost died that night, but they don't really care. There's this hilarious cut to where she says, "I'm not crazy," and then the next thing she says is, "They think I'm crazy."
They just think I'm crazy.
There's a bunch of nothing, and Katie sneaks into the house and just kind of stands there. The mom stands there too. Noises. What just fell down a book? The Xbox fucking snarls at her and makes her fly up and die while Katie just stands there. Hilarious.
Bitch.
The boyfriend comes in and tries to call his girlfriend and then eats their food, but Katie just kills him too. This thing takes like 5 minutes of wandering around the house before it happens. The dad and the girl come back to see the kid and Katie walking away, so they check the house and don't find anything. After forever, the girl runs next door to find her parents, but hears some cultists. They scream and they're all a bunch of soccer moms walking like zombies, and that's it. That's the end.
Are you sure about that?
Part 5, the Mexican one. So this is the one where they give up the numbered naming conventions and move on to generic names that no one cares about. It begins with the Paramount logo because this shit's not real anymore, but it does some spooky glitches. There's a bunch of Mexicans instead of white people. The dude looks like a fuckboy, and once again they carry the camera around for no reason. Do people ever do this in real life? There's a crazy lady living downstairs. The dad living next door would hear strange noises and stuff like screaming. This dude keeps saying, "That's nice," while looking at himself in the camera. He tries to pawn the camera, but it's still on? I don't know why.
Yeah, it's nice.
He focuses on the weird lady with the newspaper over her windows and then just keeps filming himself. Yes, film your dad while he's taking a shit and talk about being in a ghetto.
What are you doing?
What do you think I'm doing?
What you call ghetto.
He then makes some comment about his grandma shaking dicks. Then some dude gets angry at the camera and they run away. He gets his GoPro and sets up a shitty laundry basket thing to roll his friend down the stairs who hurts his knee. There's some noise from the other apartments and someone gets angry. He then films himself cooking. The grandma gets drunk and they hear spooky noises again, crying and screaming coming from the vents. So they open the vent and make the camera go down there to spy on the freaky lady. They look at this naked girl and like a bunch of retards having a seizure, and then the grandma gets mad.
No, you can do laundry later.
The old lady that lives in the apartment gets naked too, so they're doing some weird naked cult stuff and painting on each other. They make their dog dance. They tell this girl about it, thinking that she's running a brothel, and they make some kid knock on the door and the bitch starts screaming at them. They then do some dumb shit near the dumpster, and some dude runs away, and then there's some police and explosions. The old lady was murdered by the dude that was running beside the dumpster, so the police took her away. They try to figure out why this happened. They get high and decide to look around the apartment through the window. There's a bunch of false scares, like them making strange screeching noises at each other and scaring themselves and then playing with the shit on the drawers. After that though, they hear actual scratching noises from the crib and find a doll inside. There's also a bunch of surgical tools, a bunch of tapes and books. There's some blood and shit on the walls. The ghost loves a mess. They get scared by the murderer's brother, who says some bullshit about him being innocent, and they leave. They also stole one of her books too, but it has some demon shit on it, basically the same shit as before. They also spray paint a mirror black and find a way to contact the spirit world through the church that they break into, and nothing happens after too long. After hearing some shit in the basement, they go down, but while the other dude is just somewhere else, a bunch of nothing happens with various noises. The toilet stall is haunted, I guess. They run and they run. The next day, they film the other dude sleeping and draw a dick on him and play some games. The game stops working and becomes haunted. The fucking Simon Says thing is haunted. Grandma gets freaked out at the haunted toy. There's a bunch of noises later on in the night, I guess. There's no night one, there's no formatting for this at all. It's just like a DLC movie, so with some random people. They make food, again, and they describe the ghosts in the most riveting way possible.
I feel like it could have been us, but it feels like something's around me.
The grandma blesses the house with vinegar and they get mad at her. They play basketball and use the vending machine, and then some weird guy talks to them. They get into a fight and the dude finds out he has magic powers. I guess this is Chronicle now. They ask the ghost if the ghost did it. The ghost says yes and doesn't answer if it's evil or not. Discovers that he has a superpower to fall backwards in the air. And his friend tries it, but he can't do it, so this guy has magic. He can also blow up an air mattress really quickly. They make a YouTube video with this and everyone calls it fake because it's YouTube, but they get angry and then they go to a party and fuck around, and these girls just come with them to the murder apartment to have sex. Why am I watching this girl putting her makeup on? They try to have sex, but he leaves, so she finds a trap door and some guy tries to pull her inside, so she screams and runs away. He gets up and finds the other dude and tells him that they have the same demon haunting and the only way out is to kill yourself because the superpowers are, like, bad. Yeah. The guy falls on a car and dies. So the dude with the powers has the same mark on his arm, so he's in trouble. He's the marked one. They go to the apartment again to find the door and go inside without leaving someone to check what's happening up the top, so if they get locked down there, it's their fault. There's some creepy room with a spooky altar, and the lady had connections to their family. The dude with the powers' mother is in this picture. There's some whispers and creaks and a shadow somewhere, and they come out to find someone leaving the apartment. There's also a bunch of plastic everywhere too. Apparently this dude's mom died when he was born, so he thinks that this lady had something to do with it. He looks at himself in the mirror again to pull out a thread from his eye. They also go on to see the brother of this dude who died, and they talk about witches and firstborn boys whose moms died when they were born being targets. Why is this important? I don't get it, but whatever. They somehow connect this back to the Hunter family, so the girl from the second one knows all the secrets. I feel like this movie is just like Mad Libs. He then denies any of the crazy shit happening to himself, even though a second ago he said that he believed it. Then he gets mad at some random dude and has an altercation in the store and sits outside talking about how he's losing control. I guess him having white lips makes him possessed. They talk about the fucking toy again. The spirit won't leave him alone and it won't stop beeping. Why is he filming himself watching TV? There's some creepy shit happening in the apartment, so he goes to find his dog. He has to pick up the camera first before he goes in to save his dog's life, but he gets stuck down there. There's just some roars and stuff, and then he's suddenly back in his room and his friend is filming him. He's possessed, I guess. The white lips. Him and the girl meet up with the chick from the second movie and she tries to explain the demon generic things. She even has it laminated. She's very prepared for this presentation about death. They go back to the dude's house and he's fucking with his dog. Then they go buy stuff from the religion store. They do some blessing ritual with this aesthetic as fuck room. Eggs. That'll stop the demon. Toby does not like eggs. There's a bunch of screaming and the lights go out, but Jesse is being creepy. Jesse's the name of the guy I just remembered, by the way, sorry. There's too much fucking screaming. What is even happening? Oh, he's taking a nap, it's fine. Oh no, he won't wake up. Oh, where'd he go? The dude's just standing by the stairs. There's like 20 minutes of this movie left. Grandma's dead. They have to go find the cultist's house, so they go and they go. Oh my god, he's walking and they can't get out of the car. Oh no, he's there and he's angry about the eggs. Why are you still holding the camera? They get these other dudes who ran into them before to come and bring their guns along to waste the cultists. Don't get excited, nothing's gonna happen. There's this really long sneaking sequence for like ever. There's like 7 minutes of it. They get attacked before they can even use the guns. Put the camera down. There's still 10 minutes of this movie. The house is locked. There's suddenly just a magic door as well, so he gets chased into the magic door. There's some random bitch coming down the stairs. I guess it's the house from the first movie. Is she making toast? What is she doing? Then she starts screaming, "Who is this? What's happening? Why is the creepy man there? What? Where? What? Oh, the 6 minutes of credits. Great, cool. Oh my god, this is the last one. Movie 6, Ghost Dimension. This is one of the dumbest names I've ever heard. This one takes place after movie 3. The grandma explains that the ghost is cool and stuff to the kids. This doesn't even look like found footage, it just looks like it's normal and they gave up. Then it switches to found footage like 10 minutes later of this random family, and this dude named Uncle Mike is coming to stay over. The family is staying for 2 weeks and something immediately breaks. A stupid kid does stupid shit. He talks about his broken relationship in front of the stupid kid too. Haha, classic Uncle Mike. They put up more decorations and find some tapes from the people who used to live here. They also find a camera. Get this, it's a magic camera. The dad finds it and cleans it up and has some like preset effects when he puts it on. It looks really stupid. So this is a ghost camera. He sees some mist in the room and thinks it's out of focus and goes to look more closely to see it's really a magic ghost camera. He keeps playing with it too. He checks the kids' room for monsters and sets up a jump scare location for the rest of the movie. The misty shape is also gone. They say that the camera is apparently old, but it looks like a fucking weird computer. It's like giving 5 lungs to someone and then saying that they have superpowers. This is a ghost camera with magic powers using computer bullshit. This is the movie. The kid has a friend that she talks to suddenly, and the ghost mist shows up in the room. That's totally not a bad sign or anything. Him and the uncle eat chocolate.
Appreciate it? Pretty well. Been living with you for a long time.
Excellent dialogue. They look at the dad's old recordings trying to find porn together because siblings watch porn together. Normal people do that. They're home videos from the 3rd movie. His brother is into shoulders. Oh my god, the pinball machine is haunted. Oh, first the Xbox, now he's going back to the classics. Toby, you are a man of culture. They find this earthquake sex tape from the 3rd one and some tape of a cult brainwash thing. The kid describes the tent that they have in the girls' room, so it's like the ghost is like time traveling. The one brother is way too dumb to figure it out, so he has to be told. Then the tape distorts and the power goes out at the same time. I guess they're talking about Toby. The dad follows the mist into the room and the chair moves. The lights go all fucky. That's a fake scare. Mike is not funny. They make cookies and talk about ghosts. The blonde lady gets too close to the camera and talks about spirit photography and different planes of existence. The blonde lady then takes the camera, and her and Mustache Dude are the only ones in the home while everyone else is out. We're like 20 minutes in and just random crap is happening. Then she gets jump scared by Mustache Man. Night vision is green this time. Something flies out of the pool. Is the ghost a fish demon? The kid jump scares them. They tell the others the next day and nothing comes of it, but they find the kid buried the mom's jewelry in the backyard. The dad talks to the kid in the tent and asks her about ghosts, but she says that she doesn't want to talk about him. Dude then films himself watching the recordings like the dad from the 3rd one for no reason. He hears something outside but no one's there, and then he drinks milk. This is an amazing movie. Ghost makes screen go blue. The kid speaks backwards shit, but the subtitles I put on totally didn't give it away. She has blood on her, totally don't worry about that at all. She's playing Bloody Mary. The blonde has to explain to the dude what Bloody Mary is because no one in this movie is real. They also uncover the same KT bullshit happened in this house. The mom doesn't understand the parallels that everyone else is freaking out about. They do the same plot every single time, and the same dialogue as the other ones. Night 1, nothing happens. Then shitty ghost smoke appears with bad sound effects and makes itself into an ink waterfall of spaghetti for about 12 hours. The kid gets up to talk to it, and it makes more waterfall noises that she understands. The mom comes in, but she can't see or hear the spaghetti. The mom looks around and the ghost fucking punches the camera and then leaves. Dad confronts the kid about the tape really casually, like he just saw ghost spaghetti and he doesn't give a shit. She calls it Toby, so they're already making connections to the 80s videos they're finding because they also mention Toby in those. Compared to every other movie, shit is actually happening a bit too fast and too slow at the same time. Mike thinks that the tapes are haunted and Dad thinks it's also a ghost. Mike thinks that the kid went into the garage, watched all of the tapes, and then started spouting bullshit from the tapes, even though she's not really capable of doing that. They also hear something outside and take the camera to follow the shape to see where the kid is sleeping. It's gone, then it jump scares them. The next day they watch the footage and put more cameras off. Night 3, nothing. Then Ghost Spaghetti appears and floats around. The little girl talks to it, but the camera can't see it this time. She's fucking around with the fireplace because she has no Xbox, I guess. The mom catches her and is mad. The ghost is just watching them and making wind fart noises. The ghost spaghetti just falls from the ceiling and jump scares the mom with fire and shit, while she stands there for a full 30 seconds afterwards for no reason. The next day, the two women talk about all the weird shit that's happening, and the dad confronts the girl again, but she doesn't say shit. The dad and Mike look at the tapes and find out the mom and dad disappear from all of the later ones, and that the dude is also preparing the girls for Toby, which sounds pretty gross. Night 4, Dad is still watching the tapes and sees the girl talking about the visions she has every night. She also has a vision of them watching the tape right now. Admittedly, it's a cool idea, but it's wasted on this movie. The daughter walks in just as the tape glitches out and everyone just watches the tape. The kid in the tape, Christy, says "bless you" just as the kid in the real world sneezes. This kid wants to go to Toby Land, so she draws the symbols from all of the other movies. And there's some talk about witch doorways, whatever that means. The mom just follows along with this. There's some bad sound effects and glitches and she's doing something by the window.
Hey!
Bitch, shut up, I want Satan, not tinnitus. The ghost is gonna take her away or something. There's another bang, they look out the window and there's a massive spaghetti jump scare. The mom calls the priest during the day. There's a bunch of supercuts of her calling people in the movie. She brings up the Jesus doll for the kid. The kid doesn't want to talk about the conversation they had last night either. She starts fucking smashing the Jesus doll on the table and isn't answering them. The dad explains the time travel theory he has and says that the camera is being used for the demon somehow. The priest then watches the tapes as well and he doesn't look very excited. They scream at the priest about it and he tells them to shut the fuck up and go check on the kid. They talk about her bear for way too long.
Bubba looks really hot. Oh, Bubba likes it.
He puts holy water on the damn bear and asks her if she wants some. She smiles at him and then bites him. Then he just leaves. They find the tape inside the camera that they apparently didn't check for the entire movie, and it shows that the cultist was inside the house before they moved in. They go back to talk about how they bought the house and how it was suspiciously cheap, and their agent apparently doesn't exist. So let me get this straight. Some bitch shows up at this house, says that you should buy this house, you do not check what agency she's with, you do not go to the agency and talk to them at all, you just buy it immediately from her. How does that make any sense? Are you stupid? Night 6, more spaghetti noises and something hits the camera, so the dad freaks out and walks around. The stupid music comes on over and over, and then he sees the ghost near Mike and he feels something, but it vanishes. It really likes the Christmas tree, but it rushes him, so they run. It looks like a fucking potato. A bunch of furniture moves around and the next day they're packing to leave. They leave the kid and the mom alone while they do this. The mom wants the kid to go downstairs and the kid just wants her to shut the fuck up. The ghost spaghetti appears and the dad is rifling around tapes somewhere. They find Hunter's missing poster and he has the same birthday as the kids in the tape. They also find out that the kids in the tape have the same birthday as their kid. They find Hunter on these tapes even though these tapes are from before he was born, so they really do time travel now. Night 7. After a long time the ghost shows up and the kid walks around, makes a portal in the damn wall. She goes inside and a bunch of orbs fly out and she just comes back and says that she's gonna set Toby free, so they take her out of the house. What the fuck is happening? Mike and the blonde come back to get stuff for them and say it feels different in this house. There's a crack in the kid's wall. They also find some creepy drawings and some research and a JPEG of a demon. There's some Bible exposition in every single movie. So apparently all of these kids and all of the convoluted shit that happened so far is all trying to give Toby a human body. The entire series plot involves getting a human body. I don't know how any of that shit makes sense, but I'm not even questioning it at this point. They hear some shit and immediately don't run out of the house. They just keep walking around and the ghost just finds them and scratches at the wall like a dumbass. The kids start speaking in Minecraft language and they call her the dumb priest again as if he's gonna do anything. He pours water in a bathtub and calls it holy water and says that because she was born on 666, they need to murder the demon. Some of the worst shit ever happens in the movie as they try to get the demon out. It looks worse than a YouTube video. There's so much screaming and then the sheet starts flailing around and the priest fucking dies. I don't know what's happening. Why is the demon base boosted? The kid runs off and CGI hands jump out to kill all of them. Why does she still have the camera? Put the damn camera down. She goes into the ghost house portal and finds demon people. This bitch sounds like a video game prologue.
The darkness. It's coming.
They put black contacts in everyone's eyes, so I guess that means they're evil. They say that Toby is real now. Apparently they only needed her blood, so I don't know why she's in there. Why didn't they just take her blood and leave? Only now does she drop the camera and some dirty naked man corners them. That's Toby. So that was the plan. So he went from being a demon to being a skinny twink. Let's go over the stuff that he likes in the movies. Movie 1, chandeliers. Movie 2, the pool. Movie 3, bed sheets. Movie 4, the Xbox. Movie 5, Mexicans. Movie 6, bedroom walls. Why is this relevant? How does this help him? Why does he need all of these things? Why does he need the kids if he doesn't really need the kids and he didn't use them for his body? Where did he even get his body from? Why does he have a skinny body? I'm confused. But, you know, this was just a retrospective kind of look back at all of these things. It's just one of those funny, stupid wastes of time that you just can't help but have fun. Oh shit.